I think it's good morning and welcome to day 45, halfway through the challenge. Day 45. That is 9 times 5. That is 7 times 6 plus 3. That is 10 times 5 plus minus 5. All right, I need to stop with the math. This is day 45. I wanted to share this with you. Every single time I have run the breakthrough challenge, every single time, there is such disruption that happens among the people who are participating that I've never understood why. There's just so much disruptions. There will be things happening in career, things happening in relationships, people facing. I don't want to say that the breakthrough challenge has anything to do with it, but a lot ends up happening. Sickness is being reported, death. This never, those of you who are on the momentum challenge, you know that you can tell that during the momentum challenge, we didn't have as many reports of what we are dealing with right now. Like there's just such a heavy tone that ends up showing up. But I always look at it as an opportunity that we do not get surprised when difficulties show up. If we get surprised when difficulties show up, it's because we are not ready. The one thing we know 100% is that difficulties are going to show up. 100%. Think about it, and I do not want to become a prophet of doom. This is a reality that we have to think about it, you and I. Someone in our circle at some point is going to be the first one to lose a family member. That is a life reality. And it's coming to you from a doctor. I know that it could be me. It could be you. It could be your neighbor. So the difficulties are going to come. The difficulties are going to come. There will, most of the time, there's no warning. It just happens. And sometimes when it happens, you're like, why did it happen to this person? You almost want to ask God, like, siungeanzia kwingine, you don't want to point out anybody, right? It's because this is a painful thing, but it's a painful thing that is inevitable. The extent to which a transition disrupts you points to your level of preparedness. Because if you are prepared for the stable season, it means you're not prepared. When you can deal with the turbulence, when the turbulence shows up at a time when it finds you where you will suffer through it, but you will also learn through it. So that you don't just get the pain, but you also get the lesson. You don't get just the groaning, you also get the growth out of it. But when the pain comes over and essentially takes over your life and floods you to the point where it paralyzes you, all you get is just the pain. And unfortunately, you're getting inevitable pain that is going to come again at some point in your life. If you're going to live your adult life, you're going to lose more than one person within the circle of the people you have. It may be within your family, your nuclear family, extended family, your close friends. Something is going to happen somewhere. This is inevitable. And this is the value of pursuing breakthrough. You are pursuing breakthrough by first deepening your roots best as you can. Accepting the reality that these things are going to happen. Sickness is going to come up. There are two members of this group, particularly, who have been dealing continuously with a really heavy load on an ongoing basis. And that can be draining. It can be draining, but it can also be training. Such that because of this challenge, because of this ongoing difficulty, the next time a similar difficulty shows up, you're not starting from scratch. In the business you are setting up or pursuing, what is the one thing we 100% know? Difficulty is going to show up. It's not an option. Difficulty is going to show up automatically. When you select your goal, the main thing that you are selecting is not the goal itself, is what difficulties are you willing to face? When you sign up for a program, maybe it's a master's program, you've also signed up to write a thesis, the dissertation. You signed up to do assignments. When you conceive, especially as a lady, you've also committed to waking up at wee hours as soon as this baby is born, to dealing with the weight of carrying that pregnancy. When we begin a journey, we also sign up for the obstacles. Now, there are the journeys we select, but there is one journey we never selected. It's called life. Life hits you like this. Immediately you come out of your mom's womb, the first thing you do is cry. You don't even cry, you scream. You screech out, right? Because it's a reality. It is life. It's a beautiful thing, but it's a rose with thorns. When the thorns show up in my life and destabilize me, it points more towards the fact that I was not prepared. I was prepared for the smooth season. In the Bible, there are two stories of two people who built two houses. The houses were the same. During comfort, the houses were doing well. Everything looked well. YOLO, living my best life, both of them. And then what happened? What happened? Only one of those houses survived. Why did it survive? Because of foundation. It had firm, solid foundation. In other words, the most secure building we can do in terms of our values, in terms of our commitments, the most secure building we can do in terms of how we deal with our daily life, the kind of routines we establish, rituals, is building for turbulence. We build for turbulence, we build for disruption, we build for transition, so that when transition shows up, it doesn't take us off track for too long. When a death happens in your family, when illness that you've never dealt with happens in your family, when you lose a job or you lose an income, it is going to be a heavy load. But if it gets you off track, actually, the suffering that results as a result of being taken off track will actually be more, just because of the fact that now you didn't just lose income, but you also lost hope. You also lost predictability. You also lost control of your time. This is the reason why we are doing this work. And for a lot of you, you are touching areas where you've never touched for a long time. And so when I do not see a quick response to reflections, when I see some reflections skipped entirely, I understand. The last video that I shared with you, that is called the No Business Study video. It's the No BS video, and we know that BS means business studies in our circle. That is a real reality check video. I encourage you. It is uncomfortable, but I encourage you to go back to that video and watch it. It's one of those pieces of content that I put together and then I save it, and then I go from saving it to archiving it in a special archive, because I listen to it and I'm like, I don't know where this content came from. I had some of the ideas, but it came out in a way that it needs to help me. It needs to really move me, so that I'm not just talking about this, but making it a reality. We are touching subjects that are really deep. It is okay for you to acknowledge your discomfort, because we are building for storms. We are building for turbulence. We are doing work that gets you to a point where someday someone important is going to die in your family, but you're going to become the source of, instead of becoming a ball of tears for 10 months, you're going to go through that pain within the next week or maybe a month or so. But then after that, you become a source of strength, because you're not just going through the pain, but you're also growing through that pain, where the tears do not become the only testament to someone important that we lose, but we also remember to actually laugh about what we remember, to celebrate their memories. But you can't celebrate your memories when you are already drowning in the storm. we are doing important work. If at any point you are doing an assignment that makes you feel really uncomfortable, it's important for you to step back, which is why I would like to encourage you, all the assignments we do, it is more important for you to notice the initial reflections that arise in your mind and in your heart, the initial reaction. What you commit to do, I want to build a life, I want to do what you commit to do, that is a much later step. That's a natural step. That's the easiest step. The harder step is what does it stir in you at the moment that you first encounter it? And what you encounter, what those initial reactions, those are gold. That is where all your awareness lies. That's where all your growth lies. That points to all your change opportunities. That is the value of that reflection. So I wanted to, first of all, to encourage some of you who may feel discouraged, feeling like the challenge is becoming a little heavy. It's becoming heavy because we are doing heavy lifting. We are building for turbulence. The comfortable seasons that is very easy for everybody to thrive during the comfortable seasons. What is going to happen when you face something really, really difficult? Is it going to take over your life, or will you still be able to deal with it? You might drown for a week or two, but then after that, you find your way to the surface and you actually start noticing what is going on and start learning from that pain before it's gone. Before the pain goes to the past and you only remember the pain, you don't remember the lessons from the pain that happened. And this is a reality for all of us. So encourage you and point out that the work you are doing is extremely, extremely important. I believe what we are doing here is more important than any degree, more important than any PhD, because if we make this practical, if we make this real, this creates actual transformation. And it doesn't matter what shows up in our life going forward. We find ourselves ready. We find ourselves operating from a level of preparedness and stability that we truly begin to grow through what we are going through, rather than just groaning and suffering. We pick not just the losses, but we also pick the pain as we go through. And so I want us to do the exercise. The reason why I asked you to get the two objects. Allow me to share this with you. The journey I just had to Kenya has been one of the most transformative things that I will ever do. And this is something that none of you has heard about. So I arrived in Nairobi and I had a bit of preparation to do. I had ordered some medications for my dad to be sent for me to pick them from Nairobi and then to be brought in from some other country for me to take home. I did a bit of shopping. I converted money that I had so that I have it in Kenyan currency in case I'm not able to transfer money in the village. We were using an Isuzu D-Max double cabin. I had a driver. It's a manual car. I can drive in Kenya, but I prefer to have someone else drive because then I'm always, when I'm the process, I allow myself to really process what is going on, especially when I'm in a new environment. And that's what I was doing. And because of the errands we were doing, we ended up leaving Nairobi at about 2:15, thereabout. It was a Tuesday. And we started driving. As soon as we hit the end of Waiyaki Way, it starts raining. And we are going to Kisii. And we are going to go through Mahimahiu, all the way to Narok, all the way to go to Kisii. And it rained 99% of the journey. Like literally, it rained continuously. As a result, we went slower. And that's because overall the other vehicles on the road, especially the smaller vehicles, go slower. We came across a lot of water running around the area between Mahimahiu and Narok. Some areas, there was just a lot of water already. running, and we made sure to go as fast as we can to get through that part, because sometimes it can flood and cut off the road. We go, by the time we are approaching Kablong, it's already really, really dark. And then that's when it starts to rain really, really, really heavy. So we go past Kablong and turn left, and we are going down just before we get to Sotik. So it's a much narrower road, that area, but it's also a meandering road, and it's also downhill. But there is this beautiful bus that is coming from the other side. He has full lights on, and he is driving literally on half of the road, more than half of the road, almost to our end. And unfortunately, my driver panicked because of this. The bus looked like it's just driving straight to us, and that is because it was coming from a bend. It's coming from a bend, so it looks like it's just headed to us, but it was going to, to turn. In the process, as he's swerving, the vehicle first goes to the middle of the road, and then in the process of trying to turn out, the vehicle actually does a 180 degrees, and then it just slides all the way to a ditch. And they say that your life flashes in your eyes. This is something I have had, because in the hospital, you deal with patients who come in after accidents all the time. But it felt to me as though there was just a whoosh of you're flying off, you feel like everything is suspended and you're just flying, to the point where by the time the vehicle is hitting the wall and coming to a stop, the only thing that was in my mind is that I hope it's not too much injury that I cannot survive it from here. Like it's one of those things I look back to and I'm like, did that happen or am I making it up? But thankfully, nothing happened to me. And nothing happened to the vehicle. I found myself praying for some reason before we got to Kablong. I was praying and singing this song that our signature song here, that we keep singing here, and praying and singing this song, and it just showed up. So I had some kind of peace by the time this happened, but it left me kind of shaken from that moment on. To finish the story, so the vehicle goes into the ditch and we try getting it out, doesn't work. I had to, the driver is not familiar with that area. I had to get out in the rain and walk all the way to Kablong to find people to come and help us pull the vehicle out of the ditch. And the first gentleman I met also had a double cabin pickup, and spoke to him, told him what was happening. And I had already spoken with a boda guy who went and bought for us the ropes, those plastic ropes to pull the vehicle. So by the time I'm speaking with him, I'm talking to him and I'm carrying that bundle of ropes. And then he says, he says, let me think about it. Then he drives, a little bit ahead and talks to the boda guy. And he's like, I would like to help him, but he's too new. They might be planning to steal our vehicle, and he thought we were going to steal the vehicle. So I think it probably makes sense, because you have this new man showing up from nowhere. He wants you to go help him, but he's also carrying robes in his hands. He's ready to. He refused to come help us, and unfortunately, I couldn't find any other vehicle to come and pull us out. Someone offered to go bring a tractor, but they were going to have to go 20 kilometers to go get the tractor to come and pull us out. So what we did is we went to a nearby bar and found young men many of them were already kind of drunk. And for some reason, the young men we found in that area, they were all slender, but there were like 15 of them. And they're like, yes, we will pull it out. I'm thinking, this is a D-Max. If it's sliding, it means we have to rely on their energy to actually pull it out. So we got these young men onto bodas and drove down to the area, and they a bit of a struggle, but they were able to pull out the vehicle onto the road. We pulled the vehicle onto the road, and now the four-wheel drive is stuck. So it is alarming the four-wheel drive. And we drove from Sotik all the way to Kisii at between 28 and 35 kilometers per hour. You are doing that in the rain, at night, in darkness, with these buses coming off from behind you. But we still got to Kisii town. I do not take it for granted that I came out of that, number one. Number two, that we were even able to drive the same vehicle. We had to replace the clutch in Kisii because that's what the only thing that suffered, and two of the tires. But we came out of that. But I had planned to do a celebration for my father. My father is elderly. If you know my story, he's my adopted father. I had planned to do a celebration for him in the village to make sure that people actually come and celebrate him and speak to him while he's able to understand and to hear and enjoy it. It was meant to be just a small family event. Because of this, I was like, this is not going to be this. I don't know whether I would have had the opportunity to complete this plan. We just made it a really big celebration. We had almost 500 people come through the village. We killed a big bull, and by the end of the day, it was all gone to celebrate and appreciate his life. But I was also like, this is a leash that there's no assurance that I was going to be able to be doing this. Maybe I might be in the hospital. So I just wanted to share that with you. I know that this whole conversation makes today a really heavy morning. I apologize. But these are realities that we have to deal with. I do not talk about these things with sadness or with consternation. These are going to happen. These things are going to happen. They are going to happen. When they happen, I pray that when bigger things happen in my life, I hope they don't happen soon, but when they end up happening, that I deal with them with the same level of calmness I was able to deal with this incident, where we have just been shaken, where I could possibly have been injured, but I was still able to have presence of mind to actually get out, to calm my driver and reassure him that he was not in mistake, make sure that he is okay, but also be able to still walk in the rain and the darkness. It was like 9:45, almost 10 p.m. By the time we are getting out, it's almost midnight. To be able to deal with it, I look back to it and I'm like, if I could do that with any of the major disruptions that will happen in my life, I think I will learn through them. I think I will be valuable, because if, for example, I lost someone important in my life, if I'm available for all the other people in a way that supports them, it will amplify the value and preserve the beauty of the experience of going through this pain together. Instead of me joining them, and then we are now 15 of us crying all the entire time for 3 weeks. Every morning, everybody comes out with somber faces, right? If I can do that, I will become a source of inspiration, a source of support, a source of value that actually, if it's someone we've lost, we can mourn the loss and grieve, but we can also celebrate so that it's not just one-sided. So we are not just losing, we are also learning, and we are going through something inevitable. I wanted to make sure that I've shared that so that it doesn't keep sitting in my spirit, because I know of the groups that I'm working with. You are one of the groups I'm working with closest. There's another group on public speaking that I'm working with. Then there's a group of doctors that I'm working with who are trying to cross to take the next level. I thank God for the opportunity, for the gift of life. I really thank God for the gift of life. And when I talk about it now, it's from an even deeper place, that this fragile life that He has given me survived something that could have been tragic. And here I am. I had the opportunity to speak at some schools, to launch the book Embody, to meet many of you. And I'm still back in the US doing the work that the professional work that He called me to do. Let's now transition to that exercise, but I need you to do some kind of movement to shake your energy up so that you don't. I need you to shake up and get ready for the exercise. I'm watching all of you. Stretch, I'm watching. I'm watching all of Moses. I've not seen you stretch. And Millicent, yes, yes. Millicent. I have Beth, I haven't seen you stretch. I've seen you, do this, but I need, yes, like that. Eunice Courier. Yes, Mora, I didn't see you do it. Now I need to watch you stretch. Eileen, Mora. Stretch, 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 stretch. What's that? Okay. Sorry, if I hope I don't sound like a bully this morning. I'm like, stretch, I'm watching. Are you from one? It's time for you to stretch with your eyes closed. Okay, take the two objects. One of the objects represents where you come from. And the other object represents where you want to go. Now, the object that represents where you come from, it represents your most frustrating pain point, your longest running frustration or your longest running obstacle. So what is your longest running obstacle or frustration or pain point? If I was an excellent marketer and I wanted to sell something to you that is irresistible, what pain point would I touch that would make you buy? If I had a solution for this pain point, you would buy. You'd buy what I'm selling. This segment is now a business masterclass. If you know that psychology, if someone has a car and you know their main pain point with the car, you have a service for them. You have a solution. So what is your longest running obstacle? What obstacle has held you back the most? What frustration has pained you the most? That is what that object represents. The what you want or where you are going object represents the best version of you. The day the best version of you shows up, you could pick these and say, finally, it's like a trophy, like finally, here we are. What would it feel like to wake up and find that you are operating as the best version of yourself? That's the question. What would it feel like? It's not what people would say. It's not how much money you would have. It's not where you would live. It's not what car you would drive. It's not how you would log into social media where you're saying, now, this is the best version of myself. You type one letter after another because you're not in a rush. The best version of yourself. What would it feel like? It comes down to a feeling. Okay? And so let's go now back to the first object. Let's go back to the first object. I need you to notice emotionally, sensationally, in terms of the senses in your body. We are going to go a little bit inside. I need you to be able to actually be still and get yourself to go into this exercise as deeply as you can. So pick I will just say, pick the object of where you come from on your left hand. That's it. The other one, leave it alone. Okay. And I would like you to feel it. It's for me, the object I'm picking is this pen, because this pen still has a lot of ink, but it's just right in a staccato manner. So it's very frustrating, this pen. I don't know what you picked. Just hold this object and actually feel it in your hand. Like really, really feel it. Okay. And then I want you to think about your most frustrating pain point, your longest running frustration, the biggest saboteur of your journey. This is one of the areas where you can, if you decide to go off camera or just close your eyes, this is one where you can do that. And make sure you're not distracted during this time. So I need you to see, like to really see this saboteur or this pain point or this frustration. How far back do you think it runs? How far back does it run? How many years has it been present in your life? Which parts of your life does it affect? Does it affect your health? Does it affect your self-esteem? Does it affect how you show up? Does it affect the goals you allow yourself to engage in? Does it color how you view your present circumstances, your present opportunities? Does it color how you view your challenges? Does it make your challenges feel worse than they are? And your opportunities feel smaller than they are? And your future possibilities feel less possible than they are? And I want you to see what kind of what does it make you feel? Get clear about what does this frustration make you feel? And I need you to find a way to just see whether you can identify in your body, where does that feeling settle? Is it a feeling of frustration? Is it a feeling of uh, anger? Is it a feeling of hopelessness? Is it a feeling of disconnection, which is one of the most damaging? Where do you feel that the tension related to this frustration? And make sure you're actually clenching that object in your left hand. Clench it as much as you can and keep your eyes closed and just breathe in deep, in, out slowly, and see where that tension feels. Sometimes it can just be across the chest, maybe in your throat or in your belly, or it might feel like it's spread everywhere. Sometimes it's like a heavy cloud around your head. I don't know what it is for you. Where in your body do you feel it? Now I need you to try picture, what has this cost you? What has this frustration cost you? What emotional weight are you carrying because of it? What discomfort are you dealing with because of it every single day? What areas are you shrinking your life because of this? What does it cost you before? What did it cost you last year? What did it cost you in the last 10 years? If you had been able to face and overcome, if you had been able to break through this frustration, what is it that it's cost you that it shouldn't have cost you? What is it going to feel like if nothing changes with regards to this frustration for the next 5 years? What will it cost you? What will you feel like? What would it feel like? Frustrations feel heavier the older they get. So how much more discomforting will it be? How much more unsettling might it become if you do not face and overcome it? As you think about this, I would like you to still make sure you're paying attention to where that tension is. Where is the tension? Where is the discomfort? Where are you feeling it? This is time for you to journal. I hope you have a place to write. I would like you to jot down to as much as you can. If you still feel you need to continue to allowing yourself to be in that space, and you can journal later, that's fine, but you can journal now. Identify the frustration by name. Identify the frustration by name. And if you can link it to your identity in the way that it authentically is, that will be good. But just find a way, just put it down by name, what the frustration is. A lot of the times, the frustration is a limit that is operating in your life, it's a belief. Remember, beliefs are both permissions and limitations. Don't just write it down, make sure you verbalize it. You actually say it out in words. You're not verbalizing it to own it, you're verbalizing it so that you can get clear about it. And count the cost. Count the cost. What is it costing you? The reason why when we get disrupted, we get really, really disrupted is because we are living in quiet instability. We are living with micro disruptions. And when you have these kinds of long-running frustrations, this is a small disruption. So when a bigger disruption hooks onto it, you're gone. What is it costing you? Jot those things down. Most importantly, the feelings. What does it make you feel? And don't just say it makes you feel uncomfortable. You need to be specific. How would your body doesn't understand words, it just understands sensations. How would your body know that frustration is now showing up? Maybe you need to make a presentation or speak to a new client or make a decision, an important decision, or make an important purchase, or fire someone at your workplace, or give feedback to your boss, speak to your husband or wife or partner or your child. And the pain and discomfort related to that frustration is showing up. How would your body know? Your body doesn't know the vocabulary, it just knows sensations. I hope you've been able to write down to jot those things down very specifically, as specifically as you can. And this is something to come back to. I was in fourth year of medical school when I really worked through one of my biggest frustrations, and it changed everything. Oh, it changed everything. I was already really working hard on moving from where I was to where I needed to go, but that's one of the times that I remember I've had to redo that over and over. But that first time, I was listening to an audio tape by someone called John Stanko, if any of you know John Stanko. And I read a book by John Mason called it was about average. I don't remember the exact title. Now, below everything you've written, I would like you to outline what would it feel like? What would it feel like to break through this frustration? And one of the best ways to do that part is to go to the end. It is 2024, and you've already overcome this frustration. And April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, you lived without this frustration, this pain point. What was your life like without this pain point? What was your life like? What did it feel like? As a result, what did you experience or welcome into your life because of being free from this pain point? And an easier way to write this is, I remember when this frustration did X, Y, and Z, but now, in the past, this frustration used to do X, Y, and Z, but now, in the past, this frustration used to, but now. Because of time, we will move to the next segment. So please pick up the frustration. It is now embodied as an object. This is your procrastination or your pattern of giving up easily. I don't know what you picked. Pick it, and it's not just some abstract idea. It is tangible. Now, please pick it with your left hand, and it's time for you to do your intentionality declaration. I'm not going to give you a template. It's now you are declaring what you are going to do. Is it going to still exist, or are you going to break through it? And what do you want to do about this? Just glance at everything that you've written down and look at the gap between where things are now when that frustration is still in operation and where you would be if it wasn't there. Look at what it's costing you and what if you could recoup all that cost, all that loss by getting rid of this. So I need you to do your intentionality declaration. In other words, you declare what your intentions are about this. Are you breaking through? You're going to push through. Are you going to notice when it shows up and shift your pattern immediately and verbalize it and write down at least 2 or 3 intentions related to this frustrating object. So verbalize it and write down. Don't just think it. Verbalize it and write it down. Verbalize it and write it down. You're going to have about 2 minutes to do that. Verbalize it and write it down. You're the boss. Declare. Whatever you declare is what is going to happen. You're the director. Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. God made the universe. Knows me by my name. So it's a good day. Baby, in my home, walking through the neighborhood. Living in the present, I woulda, shoulda, or coulda. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my father does. Turning all things new, gray sky blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm thinking that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me. But it's the thing in praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. God who made the universe knows me by my name. So it's a good day. It's a good day. No, it's great.
Everything I prayed for didn't come in late. I got all I need and I didn't have to wait. Ask me if you love me, you didn't hesitate. Turning all things blue, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it?
Let's now transition. You could complete whatever remains, and this probably should constitute your daily reset for the next up to 14 days. If you break through in this one area, it will create so much room. It will release so much more energy into your comfort zone so that you can fully occupy it and be able to start expanding even faster. So we go from the left and we go to the right hand. So in your right hand, pick where you want to go, okay? Hold it in your right hand. Emotionally, you should not hold it on your left hand because your body does not know the difference. Your body feels these things at different places and you don't want to put them together. So now you're moving to the right hand. And for me on the right hand now, it's going to be I want to be able to hear really clearly. Maybe I should even have it on. I'm ready to no, it needs to be on the right hand. Sorry. I'm not being a good example. It's confusing. Okay. Your next level is waiting for you. Your next level is, first of all, emotional. Everything related to your next level is, first of all, emotional, which means when you get there, there are certain emotions and sensations you will experience. Now, you may not have the house or the car or the business or the family you want, whatever you're pursuing, or the degree. You may not have it, but the emotion is free. You can borrow the emotion. I remember when I was graduating from Way University, there was a fifth-year medical student who borrowed my gown and went and took pictures. I'm like, why are you taking pictures? It's like, I will be graduating soon. I just don't know whether I will have the time to take pictures. So I might as well take the pictures. It's like, I have such a good haircut. I don't want to wait. I don't want to waste this haircut. So he went and took pictures. And interestingly, when he graduated, he didn't have the opportunity to go to the studio and take pictures. So he ended up using those pictures from 2009. So are you willing to borrow the gown today and just take pictures? Because you don't have the graduation yet, but the emotion you can borrow. When you get there, it's going to be the emotion. When you get there, your comfort zone is going to expand. Where if today I took you onto a big yacht, you will probably feel out of place. But once you get there, it will become one of those things that is available to you, but that you don't even end up doing because you're more interested in spending more time with your family. It's going to be emotional. You will arrive there emotionally first of all. I've seen Joshua Mwangi. I was in Moi University. I don't remember Joshua Mwangi at Moi University. It's going to feel. So want you to see whether you are able to tap into that emotion. So have your object in your right hand. It's time for you to again reflect really deeply, close your eyes, and picture yourself 5 years from today. 5 years from today, your confidence is through the roof. You visualize yourself in the most positive way because you're not just visualizing it mentally, you are experiencing it in reality. If you run a business, this business is a household name. If you are employed in your career, you are up there now, you are making calls. But most importantly, you have such an influence, a positive influence at work that everybody thinks about what you will consider. You are adding so much value. You've been able to travel to almost every place that you wanted to go to, and your family is exactly where you would have wanted it to be. You are leaving a legacy of intentionality in their lives. I want you to picture yourself, just visualize, really see yourself, but remember to feel what that feels like. See and really feel what that feels like. And I'm giving you that part, hoping that you are able to break from the stagnation and all the discomfort related with the first part, because we finished it on a positive note. If you need to shake your body up, in case you're struggling, you can stretch and shake your body up to get deeper into this. But really see, hold the object, hold it as tightly as you can. That gives your entire physiology the signal that you need to go deeper. Breathe in slowly, in, out. If you are fidgeting in any way, minimize any fidgeting and get into it. It's 5 years from today, your life, your next level is here. You are living a totally different life than you are doing today. All the best attributes of your life have been intensified, and all the wonderful attributes you wanted to add to your life are no longer just expectations, they are a reality. So what's happening in your life? But most importantly, what does it feel like? What does it feel like? See whether you can notice where those sensations are. Where is that lightness or that vibration or that free sensation of freedom, sensation of relaxation? Why is that sensation of ease? I don't know what sensations you're having. I'm just giving you. Is if you're ready to start writing, the one of the first things to start writing is, what are you saying about yourself? What is your next level version of you saying about you? What is it saying about your possibilities? What is it saying about your self-image? What is it saying about your opportunities? What is it saying about your strengths, about your journey, your victories, your legacy? You won't be able to finish all of it, but most importantly, just start it off. What is it? What is the next version of yourself telling you? It's telling you the job you are, job you can, job it is now okay. It's saying the job, it's okay for you to X, Y, and Z. Is it saying job? Of course, it's now okay to. Job, it's so amazing to be able to. This is one of the areas where you want to avoid using any of the negatives. If there's a negative that you are happy to have overcome, express it as a positive. Instead of saying, I'm so happy that you no longer procrastinate, you write it as, I'm so happy that you now do things on time. Because the word procrastinate is the word that carries the emotion. Is not those prepositions and all those other bits. The keyword, you switch the keyword out for what you want. We have about 3 minutes. We'll probably go over by a couple of minutes to make sure we finish this and just have a few minutes of reflection. I was sure that we were going to finish on time today until life happened, and this is always going to happen. If you get to a point where you have to leave, that's all right. I saw a message from Mogire. I think she probably has already gone. That's okay. The final bit is you need to give yourself a specific identity related to your next level. You probably have not thought about this before, or you have thought about this before. In the next 5 years, 5 years from today, pick an identity. And if you need to come back to it later, get it. What is the identity? What is the identity? Mine is limitless. Limitless. I will be limitless. I feel it in my bones. I will be limitless. I will be choosing what I want to do. I will not be choosing based on, oh, what is possible, what's available. No, I will be choosing what I need to do because I can do any of the things that I choose to do. In the next 5 years, if I want to start another scholarship for university students, I can start it. If I want to start another branch of the House of Mastery, I can start it. If I want to stop doing House of Mastery 100% and just start teaching within medicine, it's just, yeah, for me, next 5 years from today, limitless. Limitless. I have headphones. It doesn't mean limitless volume because it will deafen me. Just yeah, so it's within certain boundaries. Let's hear that part, the last part, and I will just call a couple of people. What is your identity 5 years from today? What's your identity 5 years from today? You could just unmute your mic, unless you have noise around you, just mute your microphone and go ahead. Maybe it will be easier if I just call people. Nyathiwa Fanny Somodi. Nyathiwa went from Washington, D.C. to Lusaka, Zambia. Can you imagine? She's already living 5 years from today. She's like, oh, I want to have dinner in Washington, D.C. and breakfast in Lusaka. She's like, Fanny, what is your identity 5 years from today?
Okay, thank you so much, and good morning and good evening to you. 5 years from today, I want to be...
Okay, so I want you to speak from 5 years from today.
I am. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so you are in 2029, so tell us, 2029, I am?
I'm in 2029, and I am the best version. That's not an identity. I was actually copying your limitless.
It's if it resonates with you, don't copy it because it sounds good. Something will come from within that is actually authentically yours. You want to make sure that that is what you tap into. If it's not clear, that means you have work to do in that area. You can, give yourself.
But before we finish, I'll have gotten mine.
Okay, fantastic. Millicent.
Mine, I have, when I was identifying my feelings, I thought I am successful, impactful, and influential. So 5 years from now, I am blossoming like a flower that is fully open. I'll be blossoming.
You went to the dictionary and picked the most beautiful word all for yourself and left all of us with... It's a beautiful word. Oh my goodness. Yeah, blossoming. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Millicent. It's I'm not being envious. I'll keep flipping through the dictionary and see what we find. All right, James. James Mogire of Wambu Creations.
It is 2029 and I am boundless.
Yes. Boundless. I love it. Oh, yeah, I love it. Your afro is actually boundless already, so you are headed in the right direction. Let's go to Sylvia. Good, Sylvia.
You need to give you a minute to get over headed there with the afro. Anyways, just like Anis, I'm in the space of trying to figure out what it will be.
Yep.
But among the ones that I had is boundless, abundant, joyous, expansive. I'll think about what I'll settle on.
Well, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sylvia. Eunice Courier. Let us know what you picked from the menu of the dictionary. Where did Eunice go? Okay. All right. The order has changed. I can't find
I'm
it.
back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I'll borrow from Millicent because I hadn't really identified the word, but had taken fragrance and beauty. This is what I was holding on my right hand. Smells very good and it's beautiful. So I was trying to get a word to identify with that. So I think I'll borrow Millicent's blossoming.
That's you picked a really beautiful object.
Yes.
When I ask people to feel, and one of the things that we forget to do is to think about all the sensations, taste, smell. It's, for example, if you ate chapo today, or let's say samosa today in your version that you are, and you ate it in 2029 when you're the best version of you, it should be able to savor more flavor from the samosa in 2029, right? Be able to use your sensations more. Our deeper life depends on our ability to use our sensations more. Even when something happens in your life, if you are able to ground yourself in your sensations deeper, you become freer. It's the more grounded you are in listen to athletes when they are at the starting point, especially the shorter races like 100 meters, they are able to ground themselves through sensations. What they can see at the end, what they can feel, they can hear the applause before it happens. And if you can hear the applause before it happens, it means you are able to tune out the distraction that is happening around you. So the more you are able to utilize those sensations. So for some of you, for your 2029, you probably need to get a fragrance that reminds you that this is where you will go. This is where you are going. And maybe it's a fragrance that you don't have now, right? It's maybe there's this meal that you'll keep having from time to time, and you only have it when you show up and you are dressed, ready for it. You sit down and you have this meal as a reminder that this is where I'm going. It makes me think of what the ritual we have in church where we take the body and wine, do this in memory. And so you'll also have what you do in memory of your future, of where you're going, in memory of the next level. And it cannot be Madondo, it cannot be Ngwashe. So for me, it's one of those things is don't laugh at me just because I come from Kisii, but there's a certain sweet banana, the small ones, those precious ones, the small ones. When I'm about and I go visiting people and they give me those small sweet bananas, I know that they take me seriously because those ones are only given to serious people. And the rest of you, we just give you the big ones. Because the small one takes a long time to grow. So it's called Evi Sukari. It's just the small ones. And especially when it's properly ripened like this, you have to type a hashtag before you eat it because it's it's so sweet. So you picked a beautiful one. fragrance. Some of you actually need to consider getting a fragrance that reminds you that there's just something powerful that a fragrance does. Let's get 2 more and then we will be done. I've seen Charlene at the corner. Charlene, let's go.
Hi, everyone. In 2029, I will be gracefully, positively,
We want to
unstoppable.
give you a visa. Well, I want to give you a visa to go to 2029 because you are in 2024. Let's go.
2029,
You are
I am gracefully, positively unstoppable.
unstoppable. Wow. Yep. Oh, that's you can feel it. You can't stop her. You can't even stop her from saying unstoppable. So thank you. Thank you, Charlene. We'll get one more. Shiro Phyllis Wabwage.
So it's 2029 and I am igniting fires. Big ones, small ones. And actually fire is my birth element.
Wow. I can agree.
This was my object.
Okay. All right. Can you start? Yo, Shiro. Which Shiro coming on? Sorry. I am sorry. I apologize. All right. So go back to this exercise and look at the 2 parts. And the 2 critical things to pay attention to is the sensations you have in each of the 2 areas, but also the gap. That gap, the gap between overcoming that frustration and reaching on to the next level is first of all emotional. The more you are able to ground your senses deeply and lean into them, the stronger your ability to hold on to and grab onto the next level will be. I hope that's one of the main things that you take from this exercise. Your assignment is to complete this entire exercise, to go through it really deeply on your own and check in tomorrow with everyone else for those 30 minutes at 8 in the evening. Check in tomorrow with other people because we don't have enough time to do breakout rooms. Check in tomorrow with other people and hear other people's experiences and see what other people pick. I needed to clarify something. One of the reasons why I decided to hold back breakout rooms is because we have a group that people are at so many different levels. Many of you enjoy the breakout rooms, especially when you find yourself with people that were in the momentum challenge. That means you're finding them after they have really walked quite a journey. Otherwise, the rooms, when you go into the room and find all new people, even beginning to speak can be a problem. But when you go in and you find so many people from the momentum challenge, they have been on this journey. This is now 90 plus 45 days, 135 days that they have continuously been doing this work. 135 days. Soon we'll be talking about 360 at some point. And when you have been doing this work for 360, you show up, even if you're quiet, you create an environment that is really very different, right? So breakout rooms can become a place where people show up in the breakout room and they're like, I'm leaving my comfort zone. It sounds very good, but it's not true, right? It sounds true, but it's not true. So I did not want us to continue using the breakout rooms just randomly. We will get back to the breakout rooms when I feel that most people are ready to actually go in there and use the breakout rooms, not to reinforce misconceptions around the key subjects, but use the breakout rooms as a way to step up. And so we will go back there. For now, we will focus mostly on doing the hot seat sessions. Today's was meant to primarily be this exercise. We were going to have at least 2 hot seat sessions, but because I came in the way I did, we will just finish it with this. And I'm going to just have three reflections, and then we will close off. Your assignment is to complete this exercise, go through it, notice the emotional gap between the two areas, solidify your identity, narrow down and find something that resonates with you. And tomorrow, log into the check-in. Who is going to share reflections for us? 3 people. 3 people sharing reflections. Moses, this would be your first time to share reflection. Is Moses still on?
Yes, I'm still
Oh,
on.
yes. Go ahead, Moses.
Yeah. Someone I was expecting today that he'll pick on me to chat to talk. So I think maybe just looking at, I was trying to look at where I want to be at 2029. And as we are going through it, let me just pick up my mind. And I was just thinking of being at my best, and what was popping up was beast mode, like like I'm just saying, like a beast walking through a jungle and everything, is just going through stuff. And today's lesson has brought me up to that position of just thinking through, that's where I want to go. How do I get there? And I'm looking at it in a different level. But also it helped me pick out a few things which I'm going to go through. But I think from today's meeting, there are those pain points that I picked up, and I'm trying to, they're not easy. They're going through those pain points. And even previously, it was a challenge. Yesterday, I came from a meeting with my father, and it's not been an easy journey with him. So it was one of those areas that were hitting me hard during the discussion today.
Yeah.
But at least looking at where I'm headed, I think I'm headed in the right direction, because even yesterday's meeting was very different. Well, I was well composed. I wasn't emotional. I could look at things directly. And as I was looking at this, I think that's where I'm headed. And as a beast, you don't go down to your emotions. You stand tall and walk towards where you're going. So that's my pick for today. Beast mode.
Wow. I love it. I mean, if you're Moses and you are not in beast mode, how can you take people through the jungle going to Canaan? Moses was taking care of sheep in the desert. So you need to be that's an amazing identity that you've picked. Could we, let me see, could we have someone else? Isabel, and I made sure I pronounce your name correctly.
Congratulations.
So that I can stop
Good
saying
morning.
Isabel.
Isabel, yes, it's correct. Okay. So thank you. First, thank you for trusting us, for for being human, for sharing your how you call it, your vulnerability. When you were talking with us, when you were telling us your story of your journey, I was just feeling, even I was just seeing the way the car was, I was having the image, the way you were telling us. Very thankful for that. And also teach us that how we need to do, it is okay to have problems. It's okay to have challenge. It's okay to be open to whatever comes in our lives, and for us to be prepared that in this life, in this journey, things will come. But it's most important, it's how things find us and how we respond to the situation. So thank you for this. Now, when you ask us to see, where we are, or our origin, when we are coming from, me, I am Mozambican. I'm living in Kenya for 11 years. I've been here for 11 years. So Kenya is my second home. But when I remember Mozambique, the way I came from Mozambique to Kenya was through God. I got a lot of frustration. Okay, I have a lot of challenges that anytime I look back, I look at frustration. I was in kind of high level. My life was, but something happened that things changed. But the answer that God brought to us was to take my entire family. My husband got a job here in Kenya to take the entire family. So God moved us from that environment and put us in an environment where we know nobody, we know nothing. Okay, so when you ask me to look back, I look at the frustration. Okay, I look at things that went wrong. Okay, I am still, and when I look in front now from 5 years, that I will be having my trophy, and that trophy will have love, because love can overcome everything. Whatever frustration came in Mozambique, whatever I'm going through now from 5 years, my trophy will be love. So I will be a successful person, influential, joyful, and lovely.
Wow.
That's it.
That's a beautiful reflection. That is
Thank you.
really, really beautiful reflection. Yeah. So I mean, I was looking at your name, Zukule. I'm like, what part of Kisii do you probably?
Yes. When they ask me where I'm from, I tell them that I'm from heaven. Oh, I can say that I am Kikuyu, Terere to Kikuyu. Oh, I am Meru. Yeah, they ask me, others, they ask if I'm a Nigerian, I'm Rwandese. So usually I'm all they think. Whatever the person will say, are you Meru? I say yes. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's another Zambian that we have here called Mogwai. Mogwai, yeah. James Mogwai is also from Zambia.
No, me, I'm from Mozambique.
I know, yes, for you you speak Portuguese, your primary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Portuguese, yes, Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah, you speak Portuguese, I speak Portuguese, so they're not very.
Portuguese, so it's okay. We understand each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. One more, and then we will close it off.
I said I'll think about it and I'll just jump in before you pick somebody.
Yes,
and I'll say this: when you picked the pen, for me, that was what was on my right hand, and I was like, okay. So as others were talking, the resilience. So I am resilient in 2029. That's what came to me. That because another person's wherever is not my own. So for me, it was a pen. I'm resilient in such that I will be able to open another page every day, despite what happens yesterday or today, so that I have a fresh start. So I said I will just jump in and do that. Yeah. So I am resilient in 2029. Thank you.
I love it. I would like you to, when you get your copy of Embody, I would like you to start with a chapter on transitions. If resilience requires the ability to navigate transitions effectively, to navigate transitions intentionally. And so resilience, you are really going to the heart of what we spoke about earlier, where you are building for the storm. Resilience is only tested in the storm. There is no resilient, I can do anything. And that day it's 9 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday and your salary has just come in and everything just looks, so resilience gets tested in the fires. And how well you come out of the fire depends on how prepared you are. So that chapter, particularly the reflections on that chapter, there are a couple of specific ideas. Transitions. That's going to be the biggest thing, especially the kind of work you do, where you suddenly go from DC to Lusaka. It's you still need to show up on Zoom and make a presentation, even if you are jet lagged. It requires a lot of flexibility, being able to deal with those transitions. The story I used on that chapter is is Larry Madowo and his journey. I think he's probably one of the most inspiring examples of how to navigate transitions. And this is where you shut your ear to public opinion and actually look at the person and look at their journey, even if you may not like them, but just look at their journey to get the lessons from their journey. And now we are going to close it off by hearing from a Kenyan Zambian, from James Mogire of Wambu Creations. So let's have James say something. Yeah, reflect, James. I think, I don't know whether you're muted. Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to take this opportunity to appreciate Sylvia and everyone that had a chance to share in the morning before the meeting started. There's a lot that I picked up from that session. And one of the other reasons I wanted to reflect at this point is I have a very pressing question. The question is, Dr. Job, how much did you have to part with after the guys helped you pull the car from the trenches? That's one of the questions. Now, concerning the session that we've just had, my key takeaway has been that loss is just a painful lesson. It's painful learning. Towards to the exercise where we were dealing with two objects, these were my two objects. This is my spectacle cases to represent where I am coming from. Clearly, I'm coming from a place of low vision, and my phone represents me being one out of a box and being connected to something. My phone can connect to the internet. So where I am going is a place where I am connected to so much more than is currently available for me at the moment. And when I was squeezing this object in my left hand, I could feel a lot of tension in my chest as I thought about my obstacle that has been lack of consistency. I could feel that tension in my chest and on my shoulders. But when we started talking about the future, the feeling changed, and I felt a deep sense of calm coupled with warmth, as though I was seated at the beach. And it brought back a familiar feeling to being seated somewhere outside in a park, and one by one, just children just start to embrace me, and another and another. That was a feeling that came to me as I was thinking about the future. And I felt fluid. I felt like an ocean or a sea, and that is how I arrived at the word boundless. This has been a very impactful session, and I'm looking forward to completing the exercises by myself. Thank you so much.
That is a beautiful reflection. We should just cut the reflection that you just did and post it on social media and make sure that it's seen by people with, people in university. Your gift for speaking is something that I can't wait to see what comes out of it. And thank you for that kind of beautiful reflection. I will tell you that if I was contesting for an elective position and those guys who came to pull the car were my electors, I was going to win 100% of the votes. Because when they came, they were insisting that I have to give them 100 Kenyan shillings per person, right? 100 Kenyan shillings per person, 100 Kenyan shillings per person. Each one of them, after they pulled the car out, I gave each one of them 500 shillings. Unfortunately, they are going to use, some of them to use the money to drink alcohol, but they came with boda boda. They started singing, running, dancing along the road, going up. They left the boda bodas behind. Yeah, and that's because my life cannot be brought down to, start arguing with them about 100 shillings and 50 shillings. And then I paid the boda boda guys also, each one of them 1,000 shillings. I could probably have spent the night there if I was not able to find them, right? If I could have spent the night, even if I found the boda boda guys, they were not enough to pull that vehicle out. So just to appreciate, I was just, if some environment, you just choose to be generous, not because it's necessary, but because it's also a celebration. This has been an amazing session for me. I am grateful that we were still able to do it. Remember, today is day 35 of the 90-day Breakthrough Challenge. The first half is gone.